Bring me some. So if you're lonely, lose yourself in some. Let your senses run.
Hello, it's Q&A day 2. I'm so pleased that some of you wrote questions. I really did think I was going to have to call my family and say, okay, I need some questions. My sister kicked us off nicely yesterday, thank you Rachel, and I'm thrilled that so many of you want to see her dance audition tape. I've told her that people want to see it, and she sent me a very funny text last night. She enjoyed our little debate. So I'll answer, there's quite a few questions, so I'll answer a few of them now, and I'll save a few for tomorrow in case there aren't any more, and if there are some more tomorrow, I'll just do a longer video tomorrow. So Heather has asked, where do your songs come from? Are they channeled through you, or is your inspiration for them based more on your own intuition and experiences? All of the above, I would say, because even if my inspiration is based on my own experiences, I never think to myself, oh, I really want to write a song about that experience. It doesn't happen that way. It's more when music comes, then that experience might find its way into the music if on that particular day that's where I feel led to go. So it is a very intuitive experience for me. It's not logical at all. And sometimes when I've worked with musicians who go, oh, let's work out the harmony, and they start writing things down and trying to work out the relationships of notes to each other, I'm like, oh, there is a mappable science to this, because that's just not how I work. I hear everything by ear, and I can be walking along the street and hear a song, hear a melody, so I use my phone recorder to quickly get it down. And then you sculpt a little more, so often at least half the song will arrive, and then you might work a little bit on lyrics or changing things. But funnily enough, I was 21 when I started hearing music, and it was like a real opening for me, and I was 22 when I started channeling. So that year to me felt very similar, and it's the same experience in the same way that you can tune in and hear your guides. Music just floats into your head, and you have the choice to bring it down to earth or to let it float by and wait for the next one. Karen, will I return to England for a music tour? That would be amazing, and we really hope to tour this album, so we'll see what happens. But of course, England is my home and all my family are there. So what bands inspire you? Some of your favourite bands? Loads and loads of people. I mean, for me, I just like music, so I like everything. I mean, my favourite singer-songwriters historically have been Kate Bush, who I got obsessed with at the age of 16. And I love her to this day. I'm so glad she's making albums again. And Tori Amos I had a massive love affair with from about 1998 to 2004. And still get her records too, and really, really enjoy who she is and her stuff. And then recently I'm really in love with a guy called Nils Frahm, who is this German pianist, modern classical, really amazing musician, and I had the pleasure of seeing him live in Boulder. And I like a lot of pianists actually. I like Ludovico Einaudi, Philip Glass, yeah, lots of people like that. So it's really broad. I like singer-songwriters and bands. It's people like REM. I like Coldplay. Yeah, just anything that's kind of good. I know that's a really naff thing to say, but it's true. Sandy, I find that music, whether I'm singing or listening to someone else singing, can tap in so deeply emotionally that I cry. They're sometimes happy tears and sometimes sad. Have you experienced this? Oh yes, yes, yes. That's why I love getting to work in music. And even though I can't quite relate to it when people tell me this, if someone says to me, oh, your song Hollow or Wicked Game or just makes me cry, it's kind of an odd one. In a way, I mean, it isn't to really connect with that, because it's that person's experience. But the idea that I'm making something that people could be having that experience through, when I just absolutely am so grateful for all the music that has moved through my body in my life that I've listened to from other people. There's a quote, and I'm going to forget it now. Oh, that's it. Without music, life would be a mistake. I kind of feel that on some level. So So yeah, I do have that experience, and I think that's beautiful. It's like a catharsis and an opening and a release that sometimes nothing else and no one else can facilitate, because music moves through our body, and that's what I love about it as a sensory person. So I have music on all the time usually. Angela, how do you go about writing a song lyric-wise? i.e., what's your creative process regarding the actual words you write? On occasion, the words come fully formed, and the whole song will just be down within 15 minutes, but usually what happens is I hear melodies all the time, and melodies are easy for me to create. Lyrics, you have to make sure that there's a few things I usually do. It's like sometimes half the lyrics will be there when I hear a song, and a lot of the time I'll just use words that are placeholders, and then you go back and you take the key lyrics and you go, oh, okay, fast, 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 that's supposed to be there, and then I'll figure out what's that about and what does it feel like and what are the other lyrics that are needed. So then I'll craft words to both fit at a vowels level, because that's really important with singing especially, that you are keeping the voice as open as possible. So but more importantly the story, and it's, are you helping expand the story? So the mental side of writing lyrics tends to come after the energy of the song is already birthed, which is why it can sometimes be tricky, because you're trying to bring the right words into something. So my experience is, if I can write the lyrics really fast, that's better. So if I get a song down, it pays for me to try and spend an hour with it right there and then, rather than 15 minutes, get the song and then return to it a few days later, because it's much easier to get the right words when you're in that zone. And finally for today, I don't know who this was from, sorry, but it says, you mentioned some of your songs on this new album were written from the last 10 years and some from the last year. I was wondering if the songwriting process has changed for you over the last 10 years as you have grown and evolved on your personal journey. I think it has, but what's funny about the old ones, there's one from 10 years ago, one from 7 years ago, and another one from actually 9 years ago. And they hit me quite strongly in the process where Davor and I were collecting songs and I was writing lots of new material. They just came into my head, and it was like, whoa, why is that there? Because there were songs I hadn't thought about, and I always listen when that happens, because you're open to creating something, so whatever comes in you should consider. And so Obsolete, My Friend, B, sorry, not My Friend, Obsolete, B and Within are all from before, and yet the funny thing about it is lyrically they're really strong. So I think I've grown and evolved on my personal journey, but the themes of my life probably are still the same. I think you always evolve from your themes. So the songs that are older seemed to fit with the journey of this album. And I think if anything has changed for me as a songwriter, I'm more confident than I ever was before, and as a singer than I used to be. So I know the strengths and the limitations of my voice. So if I'm writing for myself, then you kind of work within that a bit more. But I think I'm more confident at building things and at just having that gut instinct of this is working, this isn't working. And I'm very good at scrapping things. I've written, I don't know, probably 1,000 songs by now, and you know, you just get good at knowing which one has an energy about it or something unique. So thank you for your questions. I enjoyed that, and I will do some more tomorrow. And please, if you have any, feel free to just put them on my Facebook wall, and take care. Bye bye.
Lose yourself in sound, let your senses drown. Sound will